Dual Fuel South African National Championship. And Sorrel, this rally, it's got some interesting roads.
It's all up the west coast. It's all in wheat fields, which tends to lull you into a false sense of security, because you think if you go off the road, you're just going to go into the wheat fields and the farmers have been there. But every now and again you get something like this deep behind us, which you can't see at speed, and it catches you out. And the roads themselves are quite diverse as well. There's some very high-speed stuff like the one we're standing on here. It's a proper farm road. But then they link from one farm to the other, and there's some very rough sections in between as well, which makes it a difficult rally. And it's also a rally with quite a high attrition rate. There's quite a few cars fall out because of things like this. And the speed is normally very high. So it's a nice enough rally to spectate, because there's a lot of farmyards. Every stage, I think, will have at least one farmyard where you can go through, so spectators sort of congregate there, and it's an exciting rally to watch, but a difficult one to actually win. And one that actually is a lot more difficult than people think it is.
And last night we had a cold front coming through, a lot of rain, and this evening there's another one expected. How will rain affect the outcome of the event?
The same as the event really is. On a road like this one we have here, the drainage is quite good, so it won't really affect it that much. And last night's rain, you can't see it now, but there will be wet patches. And a wet patch in a 90-degree corner should in turn suit the four-wheel drive, so they can accelerate out there a bit quicker. But I don't think rain is going to be a major influence in this event. Probably the wheat flies are going to bug us more than the rain, but I don't think weather will play at this point in time. I don't think weather is going to interfere at all. Having said that, the 4x4s should be very quick here as well. Rueda has done quite a few rallies here as well. Skalk's been here often enough. And with the long straights, these cars should perform quite well. And a lot of these corners it's not flowing corners, it's farm fields. So it's like a lot of 90-degree come into play. And that's acceleration out of the corner, and the four-wheel drive should be better than two-wheel drive there.
After criticism about the format of the rally last year, clerk of the course Robert Marl pulled a rabbit out of the bag this time around. He opened the rally with the longest stage of the entire event, the 43-kilometre Sunkloof stage, rather than a short TAR spectator stage. Everyone welcomed the change. Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson were first on the road in their Class A8 Sasol dual-fuel Volkswagen Golf. After his strong showing in last year's series, Kuhn had hoped to challenge for championship honours this year, but unreliability from the Volkswagen had put an end to his chances by the fifth round. A single victory and 2 second places were all he had to show for his efforts after 6 rounds going into the event. It left him languishing in 5th place in the championship with 88 points, some 64 behind series leader Serge Damso. Damso and Paisley had enjoyed a successful season thus far, despite having to develop the new Class A8 Castrol Toyota Runex from scratch. 3 wins, a second, a third, and just 1 retirement had put them at the top of the championship table on 152 points. Yet it was no runaway domination from the pair, as Etienne Lawrence and Andre Vermeulen were breathing down their necks, just 4 points behind. However, the Subaru Rally provided the perfect backdrop for Damso to stretch his advantage, as the Somerset West-based driver loves the nature of these roads. He won the first Cape Rally in May and started this event favourite for another win in his quest for his 9th championship title. Reigning champions Jannie Havig and Douglas Judd in the second Class A8 Sasol dual-fuel Volkswagen Golf had not enjoyed the title defence they had hoped for. As with teammates Kuhn and Hodgson, their Golf had proven fragile all year, and they trailed down in 8th place in the championship. They started off the season in fine style by winning the opening event of the year, but 3 retirements and some tough events also ended their chances of glory early in the season. A 2nd and a 4th place was all they had to go with the solitary win. A win on this event would go a long way to making up for a poor season. Lawrence and Vermeulen had been the stars of the season in their Class A7 Team Total Toyota Corolla. They had taken the battle to the faster Class A8 cars all year and had finished on the podium in 5 of 6 events. Just 4 points behind Damso in the championship race, they'd notched up 1 win, 1 second and 3 third places. In fact, they were so successful that the Rally Commission was planning to restrict the performance of the Class A7 cars next season. More on that later. The unluckiest crew of the year had been Johnny Gemmell and Greg Godrich in the Class N4 L&J Plant Subaru Impreza. After skipping the first event of the year, they had led every rally at some point, only to see their efforts go to waste with mechanical gremlins. They'd failed to finish every event so far and had 0 points on the board. They came out of the blocks flying to win the opening test by 5 seconds as the four-wheel drive cars made a clean sweep of the stage. Jürgen Fecken and Dave Lefkowitz had also endured a frustrating season in their Class A7 Sasol dual-fuel Volkswagen Player. Desperate to prove his mettle against class rival Lawrence, the Player had seldom allowed Fecken to display his talent. 4 retirements in 6 events was his record. On the occasions that the Player had performed as it should, he had reminded observers that he was still able to match Lawrence for pace. However, once again, the event started poorly for him when the Player ingested water into its electrical system, the result of a plastic electronics protector not being fitted properly. It cost him almost 1.5 minutes to Lawrence on the stage and put him out of the running. JP Damso and Cobus Frey had enjoyed a mixed season in their Class A7 team total Toyota Corolla. Having moved up from Class A6, Damso appeared to struggle with the pace of the faster Class A7 car on occasion, but in recent events he had shown that he was getting closer to the pace of class leader Lawrence. He meant business on his home event, however, and finished the stage just 6 seconds slower than Lawrence. Having recently clinched the FIA African Rally Championship, Fernando Rueda was bullish about his chances of winning this event in his Motion Motorsport Mitsubishi Lancer. Teamed with Pierre Arries in the local series, the Spaniard had threatened the leaders in most events, but had not managed to pull off his first win yet. Fourth in the overall point standings, he was involved in a mighty class battle with Schalk Burger for title honours. He opened his account third quickest on the stage, some 10 seconds off Gemmell's pace. Berger, back with Vito Bonafede in the navigator's seat, was pushing hard in the Bridgestone Subaru South Africa Impreza. Despite this little overindulgence, he was second fastest on the stage, just 5 seconds slower than Gemmell. The crowd appreciated his efforts. Kali van der Merwe and Gideon Trollop in the mobile Subaru Impreza were in for a short rally. They would retire early with a blown turbo. Having skipped the daunting Motorfix Mountain Trial, reigning Group N champion Leon Buerta and Richard Clark returned to action in this event in their Pretoria Subaru Impreza. 3 non-finishes and the skipped event had put Buerta out of the title running, but he wanted to prove his mettle against the class leaders. He was well off the pace in the opening stage, but was trying hard. Local driver Werner Kuckemoer and Graham Hooper have contested only selected events in their Auto Spot Subaru Impreza. Kuckemoer, a former regional racing track star, is a crowd favourite thanks to his commitment to entertaining the crowds with a spectacular driving style. Nicholas Ryan and Brian Careyhill were the surprise finding in the early part of the season in their ABC Motors Subaru Impreza. They opened the year with a strong 4th overall in the first event before following up with 6th and 7th place finishes to lead the Group N class after 3 events. It all fell apart thereafter though. 3 non-finishes in the next 3 events after a variety of incidents and mechanical problems dropped them to 6th in Group N. They were determined to put that behind them and get back into the points on this event. The top car Hugo Boss watchers, BMW of Cliff Blackman and Johan Claassen, had swapped its 6-cylinder engine for a 4-cylinder unit. The smaller engine saved 50 kilograms and gave better weight distribution. On paper, it should also have provided equal power. In reality, it was well down on grunt, making life difficult for Blackman. He also had to adjust his driving to cater for the later braking points thanks to his lighter steed. Charles Wilken had also been a revelation in the Castrol Toyota Runex this year following his move from track racing. Teamed with Robin Houghton, Wilken had already clinched the Class N3 title thanks to minimal opposition, but nevertheless his commitment in the stages made the title a just reward. He had embarrassed many faster cars throughout the year and held 6th place in the overall championship after finishing every event. Class A6 champions Craig Trott and Gerard Snyman were still driving hard in the Team Total Toyota Corolla as Jose Ferreira and Miguel da Costa approached at speed from the other end of the junction. Navigator da Costa is only 16 years old, making him the youngest competitor in national rallying by quite a substantial margin. Chart van der Bolt and Mike Burrows had also endured a torrid season thus far, and the first stage was proving to be more of the same. Water ingestion due to the same cause as Fecken cost them 40 minutes in the stage and 14 minutes in penalties, putting them stone last. Stage 2 was the final gravel stage of day 1 before the crews tackled 2 tar stages at the Killarney race circuit. Having dropped 37